Just very recently, the governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, threw a one-week-long celebration of his 50th birthday anniversary. Apart from the fact that the elaboration of that event took Imo citizens by surprise, Governor Okorocha used the period to show the world what he believes are his great achievements since assuming office about 1.5 years ago. He bought airtime on television and spaces in newspapers to tell his story to the outside world. Of course, many believed his story, that of a fellow who is working miracles in Imo. But that is what it is, Okorocha's own story. What follows is the real story of Imo today, as told by the people themselves in this series that begins with the abysmal environmental situation in the state. We begin a sector-by-sector review of Imo State, the Eastern Heartland, under Governor Rochas Okorocha. One action taken by Governor Rochas Okorocha upon assumption of office, and which shocked the people of Imo State, especially residents of Owerri, the state capital, was the scrapping of the monthly environmental exercise started by the previous administration. Residents of Owerri never liked that decision because the monthly exercise, which held every last Saturday of the month, put the people and the government on one page in the quest for a clean and healthy environment. Although the people expressed their disapproval of that decision, the governor, Chief Rochas Okorocha, stuck to his guns. Today, the result of that action has manifested in the virtual return of Owerri to a slum. Never in the history of Imo State has Owerri witnessed the kind of refuse disposal system that has today become the trademark of the Okorocha administration. Ikedi Ohakim had well thought out programs based on which he addressed the issue of dumping of refuse in Imo State. Where in any Nigerian city are the people asked to heap garbage on major roads, to the extent that some of the heaps of refuse even compete with motorists and other road users? This is the situation in Imo today. In 2009, just a few years ago, Owerri, the capital of Imo State, was adjudged the cleanest city in Nigeria. To achieve this status, the Hakim government, through the Environmental Transformation Committee, ENTRACO, which it created, employed 6,000 sweepers made up of widows, single mothers, and students whose job it was to ensure that the city was sparkling clean. There was also the Environmental Day observed in the entire state every last Saturday of the month. Now, Imo people are asking Governor Okorocha, where are the street sweepers employed under ENTRACO, and what has become of the environment today? Your guess is as good as ours here. Yet, we have a government that claims to have the interest of the people at heart. Who is fooling who?
More than 6 to 8 months now. The government is doing nothing. How many have one caterpillar? This was here one side. I go to this time. One side. The metal market will be within these surroundings. If we don't put you out here again. Now, who's a chain and no roads. So, government we are not happy with the way we are. We have to say the truth. Come on, Dottie. Okay, na kiachi. Agbapoduru ha na make na ahụ na Dottie and Ekopia. Tell them we run Ekoti oye. Mana ku ugbu a Dottie no nya ka ọnwụ isi. Ka enyi tire wu ga ndụ ndị a na-ebe. Ndị a dị within this place. Then ọ bụrụ na iji mo ndị a dabere na ndị a ejebere na ha na iri before you know it onye ala mana. They ga nsogbu.
The benefits of environmental cleanliness, which Imo people enjoyed under the clean and green era of Governor Iketi or Hakim, has been reversed. Owerri has now become a breeding ground for giant mosquitoes, and the incidence of malaria and typhoid has quadrupled.
People used to say that Owerri is the cleanest city in the country, and for the past government, those that visited Owerri confirmed actually that Owerri is a clean city. But for the past 1 year now, the state of environmental condition of Owerri and Imo State, to be precise, is something one cannot just say exactly what the thing looks like. It looks as if Imo State is a place where pigs are now being trained.
Even the gutters constructed by the Hakim administration have all been blocked.
And we share natural my India had the when you're vitamin or as a bendage you share for. Most of them have one leg. Oyekeshura Tajawa, okay, Oyekeshua Agapeta, Oyekeshua Jawa, Yetere, Oyekeshura Agapeta to Yasatawa. Who share in a year to good young.
Traders are already saying that the markets in Owerri should be declared a health disaster area. World Bank market in view.
When I tell you that, may come past these days. They still don't kill us here. Huh? That's suicide be no good, sir. No good. May they take care of here. Huh? Yeah, and inside market where people they buy something where they shop for mass. If they go and see the tea, everybody they start see the tea. No good. Here they say they walk. Here they say they walk. No good. So more than that, they wrote that and the workers. They may try come see this dirty. Many trappers this dirty. As they throw away the things inside the market, they are no good. They're not supposed to throw away the things inside here along this side. Now another side. Once they find another side, they throw away the things inside here. Now World Bank market, it's no good like that.
Go and tell the child to come and see all this place. Place. It's not good. I'm telling the truth. Go and talk to him. This place came up. You understand me? I don't like it. Not only here. When you go to the something. When you go to Weather, something. When you go to the other places, something. It's not good for him. You understand me? It's not good for him.
Relief Market, Owerri, an eyesore. Owerri Market, another sorry sight. All these give a clearer picture of what IMO has become in less than 2 years of the change of government from Ohakim to Rogers. The abysmal state of the environment, especially in the state capital, Owerri, is taking its toll on the economy of the state. Because of the dirty environment around the various markets, residents now find it difficult to go to the markets, as majority now patronize the few supermarkets that dot the city. As a result of this, a chunk of petty traders in the city are complaining of low patronage. But that is not all. Arising directly from the environmental degradation of Owerri is the fact that the city has completely lost its attraction to corporate bodies, which were beginning to see Owerri as a safe haven for seminars and conferences. Agreed that the problem of insecurity has persisted in the state, but this has been heightened in the first place because the Okorocha administration's actions have completely run down the economy of the state. In February 2012, residents of Owerri woke up one morning to see soils being evacuated at virtually every corner of the street within the metropolis to announce the Okorocha administration's policy of erecting gates on every street within the metropolis. Today, the gates, numbering over 250, have been abandoned and now constitute part of the environmental problems within the state capital. The gates were abandoned because of the haphazard manner in which the project was being handled, and because the contracts for the gates were not properly documented. The contractors ran into difficulties with the banks in assessing further funds to complete the jobs. What is even more startling is that the gates are also sited in some remote villages, especially where top members of the present administration come from, thus making the people wonder what actually were the real intentions for coming up with the policy. Like the gates, the Okorocha administration also embarked on road projects within the state capital. But today, majority of the roads have been similarly abandoned. Those completed have been washed away by the rains because they were built without proper designs and provision for drainages. Of the over 900 water schemes that were in place before the advent of the Okorocha administration, less than 10% are functional today. The Owerri Main Water Scheme at Egbu Road and so many others have been abandoned due mainly to the fact that there are no technical personnel to man them. And this is because the technical staff that were in charge of the water facilities were among the 10,000 civil servants sacked by Governor Okorocha on assumption of office last year. One other major source of worry to citizens of the state is the potential danger posed to pupils who will make use of the prefabricated school buildings being erected by the Okorocha administration. Experts in the field of building construction, including those involved in the supervision of the buildings, have since raised alarm over the poor quality of the construction work. For example, the buildings are said to be without designs and the works suffer defects that are already being noticed through big cracks on the walls of the building. Now, is it not curious that the walls of school buildings, which are expected to house innocent children, are already cracking while the construction work is still going on? Experts who first raised alarm over this looming disaster explain that the defects on the buildings are as a result of the fact that they have no foundations and expansion joints. From sources close to both the government itself and the contractors, the entire project did not have the approval of the Council of Registered Engineers of Nigeria, COREN. The big question, therefore, is, will IMO people allow a disaster already foretold to happen to them after the buildings would have been completed and whitewashed? Already, several families across the nation are still passing through the agonies caused them by the spate of collapsed buildings in parts of the country. A stitch in time, they say, saves 9. The planlessness of the Okorocha administration, even as it claims to be pursuing infrastructural development, can best be demonstrated in the unprecedented traffic bottleneck that now characterize the Owerri capital city. Upon assumption of office, the governor, without consultation, opened roads, avenues, and streets to which previous administrations had, on the advice of the traffic management experts, restricted vehicular traffic. Motorists now empty into such roads and streets that hitherto had no thoroughfares, and the result is gridlocks in almost every nook and cranny of the state capital. The traffic gridlock in Owerri is compounded by the abandonment of the ring road network that was being constructed by the previous administration. The Owerri Ring Road network, going by its concept, was aimed at providing diversion for vehicular traffic from the main Owerri metropolis. In particular, the two flyovers that are now abandoned were to make it possible for vehicles coming from Port Harcourt and Onitsha ends to continue onward movement to places like Aba, Umuahia, Okigwe, and Waterview without driving through Owerri city. But apparently, because of a deliberate policy of abandoning every project initiated by the Ohakim administration and lack of maintenance culture, the ring road has been stalled, thereby compelling all vehicles coming into Owerri, including huge trucks and petrol tankers, to pass through the narrow arteries in the main city, a situation which is worsened by the opening of hitherto non-thoroughfare avenues and streets. The overall result is the loss of several man-hours, which goes further to put the economy of the state in doldrums. In Owerri today, nightlife is almost non-existent as residents hurry home once dusk sets in. The city is dark all through the night, thus making residents extremely apprehensive of venturing out of their homes. The present state of affairs contrasts what used to happen less than 2 years ago, when major streets of Owerri were beautifully lit at night with electricity generating sets located at various locations. In IMO State today, it is no secret that all the generating sets disappeared as soon as the administration of Rochas Okorocha was inaugurated. The result is the darkness that engulfs the state capital that hitherto was already beginning to play host to a 24-hour economy before the advent of Governor Rochas Okorocha.